Let's look at the misconceptions about liberty. Fulton Sheen begins his chapter by addressing a persistent and dangerous misconception that liberty means doing whatever we please. This mistaken view equates freedom with the absence of restraint, seeing all authority, especially moral or religious, as oppressive. Decades later, this mindset dominates our culture, where personal autonomy is idolized and boundaries are seen as threats to individual expression. Sheen's warning is clear: liberty without truth becomes chaos. A society that idolizes choice for its own sake eventually loses the very freedom it sought to protect. What is the true nature of liberty? Sheen redefines liberty not as license, but as the power to choose the good. True freedom isn't about indulging every impulse. It's about aligning our will with what is right. Liberty, properly understood, is a moral strength. Sadly, this concept has been largely lost. Many today believe that any limitation, whether rooted in conscience, religion, or tradition, is an infringement on freedom. But Sheen reminds us that freedom is fully expressed only when it is directed toward the good, not when it is used to rebel against it. Is there conflict between liberty and law? Contrary to popular belief, law is not the enemy of liberty, it is its foundation. Sheen argues that just laws, rooted in moral truth and divine order, protect and enable human freedom. A lawless freedom becomes tyranny, both personal and social. Today's cultural climate often pits freedom against moral or religious authority, but Sheen insists that without law, liberty deteriorates. We still haven't learned that true freedom requires moral structure, not its destruction. Let's look at modern confusion of truth and liberty. Liberty and truth are inseparable. Sheen makes the bold claim that error has no rights equal to truth, a statement that clashes with modern relativism. In our time, truth is often seen as subjective, and all opinions are treated as equally valid. But Sheen challenges us to recognize that liberty, without a foundation in objective truth, is meaningless. We cannot be free if we don't know what is true and good. The modern confusion around truth leads to a distorted view of freedom, where even destructive behaviors are defended as personal rights. What is the role of the will and the intellect as it relates to authentic liberty? For Sheen, the human person is free when the intellect recognizes the truth and the will chooses it. When the will defies the intellect, choosing evil knowingly, freedom becomes self-destruction. This harmony between reason and will is essential, yet in today's culture, emotion often overrides reason and conscience is silenced. Our society has confused freedom with the right to follow one's feelings rather than one's moral duty. Sheen's insight shows us that authentic liberty requires a well-formed intellect and a disciplined will, something still widely neglected. Can liberty exist in today's modern society? Sheen warns that liberty cannot survive in a morally indifferent society. Democracy itself depends on virtuous, responsible citizens. Without a shared sense of right and wrong, freedom degenerates into self-interest and division. This is strikingly relevant today as we witness increasing polarization and the erosion of civic virtue. The deterioration of spiritual and moral values has led to a fractured culture where rights are demanded, but duties are ignored. Sheen foresaw this. A free society must cultivate moral responsibility, or it will collapse under the weight of its own freedoms. Can liberty exist without grace? Ultimately, Sheen elevates liberty beyond the natural realm. Human freedom, he teaches, finds its fulfillment in grace, the divine help that enables us to rise above sin and choose God. Without grace, even our best efforts fall short. This supernatural dimension of liberty is all but forgotten today. The modern world preaches empowerment through self-will, but Sheen insists true empowerment comes through surrender to God's will. The greatest freedom is not in self-assertion, but in saying, "Thy will be done." Grace makes us truly free, free from sin, fear, and selfishness. Finally, liberty is both a gift and responsibility. Sheen concludes by reminding us that liberty is both a gift and a grave responsibility. It is not an end in itself, but a means to achieve virtue, justice, and ultimately union with God. Liberty without love and truth leads to destruction. This final message is perhaps more urgent today than ever before. We claim to be free, but we have lost the moral compass that gives freedom meaning. Sheen's wisdom echoes across the decades. Real liberty is not found in doing whatever we want, but in becoming who we are meant to be, free, good, and holy. It's time for the conversation that ties it all together. If you're in a group, now's the perfect time to grab your review questions and jump right into some awesome discussion. Share your thoughts, ask questions, and let's see what wisdom everyone brings to the table. The real magic happens when we learn from each other.